Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do this one live, so if I screw up a little bit, I screw up. First of all, we are going to do the hands tutorial today. I'm tired of putting it off. I'm tired of dreading it. I just want to get it over with. It's all basic shapes, but they're hard basic shapes. And the texturing on the hand is quite important. And the angles of the fingers are quite important because certain fingers follow each other. Like the ring finger and the pinky finger. They have a tendency to follow each other. They don't necessarily always follow each other, but they look more natural when they do. I'll show you a for instance of that. Well, take the hand from profile. I'm looking at my left hand right now. So I'm just going to sketch out the basic shapes of my hand in profile here. Got a knuckle there. And we'll start with the basic shape. Now you just draw the body of the hand. Obviously I'm drawing my left hand because I am right-handed. So that's the basic shape of the body of my hand. We'll cut it off at the wrist like I'm a thief. But not in real life because that would suck. It actually continues up my forearm like this and up underneath my hand like this. But as we speak, that's how it is. I got a little half circle knuckle right here that's visible. And the knuckle of my thumb is turned out. So I'd make that a little oval. The knuckle of my thumb is turned out. And the middle knuckle is kind of curved up. It's weird. My thumb curves up. So we're just going to draw the knuckle of my thumb. Let's see, how should we do this? Let's make that an oval too, because it doesn't quite fit in with the other shape. And it curves off kind of like so. And then we got the little, if you watch the first tutorial, we got the little vase line right there. But we do have some texture on the thumb. We got some lines right here. These are wrinkles, like leather that's been left in place too long. Your hand gets wrinkles at the knuckles. There's also a little bit of a connector flesh here. We got a little line there. Remember, look at your hand as you're drawing this. You're going to get rid of your guidelines, so don't worry about your guidelines. We'll even throw in my fingernail, which needs to be trimmed, so I can practice playing on the guitar eventually. Actually, there's really no point in that, because I suck at guitar so bad. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't believe it. Alright. So, we have the basic side profile of my hand up to there. And it's all made basic shapes just like before. Right? But like I said, there's a lot of them. And if you don't get them right, they don't look natural. Now fingertips, they're kind of flat on top and rounded on the bottom. And that's the way you need to draw your knuckles. You throw a knuckle in there, and you draw it flat on the top, round on the bottom. Flat on the top, round on the bottom. That's the way they work. And you got to pay attention to proportion. You know, fingers are only so long, right? Well, my middle finger, which is aimed at this tutorial right now, actually it's not, is kind of hidden behind that finger in the view I'm using, but it does stick up a little bit over here, and it sticks out because the middle finger is just a little bit longer than the other finger. And all you can see of my other two fingers is a tip here and a pinky tip back here. So, there's my hand in profile. Let's get rid of some of these guidelines. Let's see. And we've already learned some shading, so we'll do some shading. My knuckle there doesn't look right. I've actually made my thumb not too far away from my hand, but I've actually made my hand too skinny because I have fat hands. And I may have made my thumb a little too short. It does get up to about... Oh, okay, I've gone at the wrong angle. That's what it was. Alright, we'll fix this thumb here. Gone at the wrong angle to the hand. Do you see how much just a little bit off on your angle can throw off the whole hand? So, let's draw this thumb in the way that it was intended to look. And it ends right about there. And the way I got it right now, you actually can see up under the fingernail a bit because I moved my hand. And it is round all the way around to here, and then it curves in and does a dramatic shift and comes out. So, that's the way my hand looks. Well, like I said, this is just a basic shape of it. But you're not going to want to put that much detail and effort into your hands every time you draw them. You know? They're all still basic shapes. Flat on the top, round on the bottom. You got knuckles. You got crease lines. You got fingernails. So, what we're going to do today is teach you some tricks to make them go quicker. That's right. We want to draw quick hands. We want to know how to draw them right if we need to. But that's just my hand in profile. I guess I should show it to you in another fashion. Well, that's kind of cheating. You're only really showing one finger. Honestly, profile's harder. Back of the hand. The hand is actually quite square. Well, mine is anyway. So, let's see. It kind of goes out like that. Remember, look at your hand when you're drawing these things. If you ever have a close-up of a hand, use a hand. Use a hand to model. At least until you get used to it. At least until you get used to it. So I'm going to make my thumb in this position. See, this is just looking at things and using their basic shapes. See, this is... Oops. It actually curves that way. That's just giving me an idea of where the knuckle texture is. Hopefully this is not too bright, guys. I mean, not too light of pencil sketching for you guys to see. I'm not pressing the button in a minute. Okay. And let's see, a thumb out there like that, and it's not curved enough. It's not thick enough. You want that thumb to be thick. Oddly enough, my thumb is slender right past the first knuckle there. Well, that's just my thumb. Maybe I am weird. Well, I'm guessing if you've watched my videos, you know I am weird. Alright, we gotta speed this thing up if I'm gonna do it live. So, I'm going to draw the rest of the fingers from basic shapes, just from memory.
Let yourself go. Free your mind. Let yourself go. Free your mind. Let yourself go. Free your mind. Let yourself go. Free.
Hand. Well, that's the problem. That's why the hands tutorial was giving me so much worry, is because you have to put so much detail into a hand to make it look right. You got to put a lot of effort into it. We got knuckles there, and you got depending on how strong the hand is, you're going to have some lines of the tendons showing on top. You got a little connecting meat there, and a little depression where your thumb is. Your index finger not quite that large. Depending on the person, the webbing between the fingers is going to be different, and depending on the person, the fold lines at the knuckles are going to be different. But from the sides, remember, fingers are flat on the top, rounded on the bottom. You got the little knuckle bump, flat on the top, rounded on the bottom. And it's just going to take some practice to get the hang of a grabbing motion of making the hands look natural in grabbing and punching and doing just about everything, just common gestures. But the darker the outline you put on it, obviously, you're going to start cleaning it up. Putting knuckles so big on this one, it looks kind of arthritic. I'm no longer looking at my hand. I just use that as the basic reference for my basic shapes. So once you have your basic shapes, you can start working from memory on adding detail and texture. But we're going to show you a few tricks here to make hands quick. A few cheats, so to speak. But let's see, got the little knot at the wrist there. And hand curves in like this. So we erase some of these guidelines. And believe it or not, it's going to start looking a little bit better. Erase some of the sketch lines. Because your shading is going to determine how much detail you're going to be seeing. Anyway. So, let's see here. I am going to move this out of the way. See, we had the realistic where I actually looked at my hand and did the drawing over here. And we have the quick sketch where I just looked at my hand for the basic shapes and then worked them in. Now, remember that the top of the fingers are flat, so the tops of the fingers are easy to draw, and that's one of the nice things. Like if you wanted to palm facing this way, look at your fingers. You got knuckle that's coming in like that, and you want to draw the foreground items first. And what's interesting is that the index finger likes to go on its own. It has its own path in life. And oftentimes you'll find that while the other three fingers mimic each other's movement, even if they're not exact, exactly in line with one another, the index finger is the one that's going to be the rebel. And the pinky finger is actually going to be the one that falls farthest in line with the others. And it's actually going to sink in further a little bit than all of the others. You got your lifeline here on the palm, or is this the lifeline? Which one was the lifeline? I guess it doesn't matter. But got the thumb in here. But as you see, it's all basic shapes. I'm ignoring some of the basic shapes. This is an oval. This is a cylinder, and the reason there's a tip there is because that's a fingernail. So this is a round tip cylinder with a fingernail on it. This has got a fingernail on it too. This one doesn't need to be trimmed quite as bad. Yeah, this got a fingernail. So if you can disguise the hand a lot if you put the fingers in front. You don't have to draw nearly as much detail. Add in shading, darken the outline like crazy. I could do all that and make this a finished hand and maybe woo you with my technical prowess, but that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to teach. And one of the things you'll learn is, I don't know if you noticed or not, but outside of the one that I was trying to draw exact, directly from my hand, which was way over here, this one, that one right there. Outside of that one, this and this, I put about the same amount of effort into, going mainly for memory, and this was a lot easier to draw. This one right here was a lot easier to draw because the fingers were in front. To hide all the detail in the palm, I don't have to worry about these lines and these shapes being here. I don't have to worry about how the fingers connect quite as much. You don't have as much detail. You can hide all this and cast shadow. So one thing I'd like to recommend is if you can have someone grabbing something, like for instance, I think we need a clean page, so I'm just going to open a new page. Oh. So you want to make somebody grab something. So you still want to do the basic square of the palm. You want to draw it in there, That's your guideline. Remember, it tapers away a little bit as it goes towards the pinky and ring finger. So you got a square for the palm, and the thumb, when you're grabbing something, is going to come out and across and down, or flat on the top, round on the bottom. And he's grabbing something, so it's kind of at a 3/4 perspective. Or, well, depending on what he's grabbing. So then you want to avoid complication, want to go ahead and put in whatever he's grabbing. These are guidelines. These are guidelines. I'm gonna put the lifeline or whatever that crease is. I'm not sure. And there's a little bit of fat right here underneath the palm, where the palm ends. Put some depth lines there, and depending on how skinny their hand is, you can trace out the veins and the tendons here for a little bit of extra shadow, a little bit of extra detail later, unless they've slit them, in which case you could add a lot of detail. But I sounded a little too excited for that, didn't I? That wasn't good. That wasn't good. But when you're grabbing something like that, all you got to do is you got this. There's your pointer finger, which is not going to follow the other three fingers. You got this knuckle right here. And these three are going to follow each other a little better. So then remember the pinky finger is going to follow in the most. So it's going to be right about like that. So grabbing something, always a nice cheat. You'll notice I used it in the very first tutorial because I didn't feel like going on to detail on the hand. The fist from behind. This is the best cheat right here. If you're going to draw a fist from behind, just determine it by, I always determine it by which knuckle is going to be sticking out the most. So we're going to do a fist from, I don't know, about 2/3 perspective. So, yeah, you got the middle finger knuckle right there. You got the first finger knuckle right there. You got these guys trailing behind. They taper down. You got the square of the palm. Once again, you got the square of the palm, and which isn't quite that thick. Anyway, the palm's a square. Knuckles come off of that. But you got this thumb here that comes off, and remember it's flat on the top. Well, it's kind of concave on the top, and rounded on the bottom. But you get this thumb that comes over and hides the other fingers. Yeah, yeah. So all you gotta do is put some creases in for those bad boys. Okay, that's sloppy as hell. You can't even tell what that is. Well, not until I get rid of some guidelines. That thumb does not look like it's covering enough. I got a wrinkle right here. And another one that follows up right there. And dark outline for the, and the middle knuckle's not quite that big. Let's make that the ring finger knuckle. Let's make that the pinky knuckle. But a little shading in the dark outline. Now we put the little chubbiness at the bottom of the palm, follow it into the wrist. So hiding the fingers, always a good option. Always a good option. Making the hand a little easier to work with. But basically, what you got is we'll go back to the very basic shapes. The fingers, well, you only really got to worry about 2 digits in the thumb. There is a third digit in the thumb. It's just the third digit of the thumb is the entire bottom part of the hand. It's the lifeline thing here. That's the third digit of the thumb. A lot of people don't think of that as the third digit of the thumb, but it is. Curl your thumb in. You'll see. Curl your thumb into your hand. You'll see that whole center moves in. So that's actually the first digit of the thumb. And otherwise, it looks like the thumb has only two digits exposed because the first one is blended so well into the palm. That is a fat thumb right there. Put the wrinkle lines in there. And other than that, the palm. So the palm is just it's just a square that tapers off. And it's kind of rounded and then tapers off. That's your hand from the top. And your hand from the side, the basic shape of your hand from the side is kind of a tapered, I'm not really sure what to call that shape. It's kind of a rectangle. It's fatter at the top, and it kind of tapers down. You can break it down into more basic shapes than that. But this is the top of the hand. Same, the knuckles would be here. And in this case, the knuckles would be here. You want to practice a lot on hands because you'll see there's so many positions all of these different digits can go into. Like you can have these two guys given the peace sign. So we'll go the first knuckle coming out, and second just slightly smaller than the first. The third's the smallest. Oh, I keep doing something. I think I'm pressing on the button on the. I'm separating the index finger a little too much from the middle finger there. A piece, and then you just see the top two of those fingers, maybe the side of this ring finger, depending on the angle you're at. But it's all basic shapes. You draw in a bold outline, as usual. I'm not gonna when I'm doing these tutorials on the specific body shapes. I'm basically pointing out the shapes. I'm hoping you're gonna practice the shading. I'm hoping you're gonna practice the dark outlines on these specific shapes. How to fit the knuckle goes a little further up, and since it's fully extended, anytime a finger's extended straight, you're going to get the wrinkle lines right at the knuckles. And of course, to get the peace sign, you got to have this thumb curled in over top of those two fingers. You won't see much of it. A little wrinkle there from the skin. Round it out just a little bit. Remember, it starts from basic shapes, and then you add the palm fat right there at the end. That knuckle would be right about there. That finger would be thicker. That finger would be thinner. That finger would be farther over. Oh, I screwed that one up bad, didn't I? Man. Oh, how long is this video? Oh, geez, I can't make these super long. All right, guys. I may continue the hand tutorial next time and actually do some finished hands instead of just giving you the basic shapes of hands. Because you really just need to learn the basic shapes of the hands. They're all basic shapes. There's just a lot of them, and you got to learn their limitations. You got to learn how they can bend, how they normally bend, and how they're going to look natural as they bend. And you got to learn where the lines are, the depth lines, the details, the cast shadows. These are all things I taught in the earlier tutorials. But the hands are so very complicated that I'm not going to be able to squeeze into one tutorial a fully finished hand from every perspective. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, next tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and draw hands in advance from every perspective and point out the different shapes, because they take so very long to do a good detailed job. But because most of the time when I draw hands, I cheat. I cheat like crazy. Because, well, why not? I mean, they're so complicated, but they can also be very powerful. You know, if you can draw a good hand, uh, it, it, it really draws out a picture. It'll really bring a lot of life to a picture. About doing kind of a little comic book on the side, and just releasing episodes on a random basis, just with little caption storylines uh, based on a character we create and design here in the tutorials. And your comments and stuff in the tutorials will help me lead him through his quest. Uh, I've already got a guy in mind. always wanted to make a comic about. And it's a kind of a cartoony thing, so it'll be a simple introduction to the world of comics because cartoons are not as threatening because you don't have to be as realistic on every drawing. Uh, I'll show you a picture of him of the main character. Uh, Probably that's what the next tutorial will be about. The main character of our soon-to-be coming comic book. And I'll focus a little on faces when I draw his face because it's going to be kind of unique. His face is definitely unique. Uh, but here we are. We have hands in various positions. That same light source is hitting this. We'd have shading. We'd have cast shadow here. We'd have cast shadow there. We'd have probably a dark gradient there moving up because this is mostly on the side of the hand. That's mostly on the side of the hand, but all of this is on the top of the hand, so it would be brighter because if
Let yourself go. Free your mind.
it's gonna be a while before you get to the point where you can just out of the blue sketch out a palm, sketch out a hand in beautiful uncharacteristic detail. I honestly like how my cheat hand turned out here, but not all hands are going to be the same. You're just going to have to practice them. They're all basic shapes, but there's a lot of basic shapes, and they fit together a certain way. And you're just going to have to be observant about your hands, your own hands and their movement to get to get the hang of it. I mean, I can't show you every position of the hand because there's just too many. I mean, you got 3 knuckles per finger, and you even have that third knuckle for the thumb that a lot of people don't think about. This whole section of the hand, is a knuckle. It folds in. That's the third knuckle of the thumb. And so you got 3 knuckles per fingers, 5 fingers that can act independently and move a little bit side to side. They can come up and go out a little bit, but they can't come up and go out a lot to the sides. So you have to learn I guess you would say the limitations of the movements of the joints. See, this is all going to come up again when I do body positions, which I may do next episode with the character, whose name is Vincent, by the way. Vincent is going to be the character of our comic, and he's going to be a cartoon style. I will, in fact, draw the first panel of the comic next episode as we do positioning. We'll do the first panel of the comic. Full-fledged drawing. I may have to do it in Passport and describe it as I go, but that'll be the next tutorial. Oh no, I still haven't done faces. Okay, next tutorial's faces, then we'll do Vincent. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this wasn't terribly long, and I hope it was helpful. I mean, I know hands are so very difficult. Look at things and break them down into their basic shapes. You have to look at them. Pay attention. Like that. That should have been more like that. But anyway, I can keep fiddling with these for hours. Hours, I swear. Practice a lot on hands.